Ever get the feeling that like there's more to the letters we see and use every day than, you know, we realize? I mean, we use them all the time, but like, well, get ready because today we're taking a deep dive into the Hebrew alphabet.
And this isn't just going to be about, learning your ABCs. We're going way beyond that.
Right. Like, trust me, this is fascinating.
We're talking about how this alphabet changed over time, like centuries.
Yeah.
We'll uncover its connections to ancient empires and even how those 22 letters became, like, seriously important in Jewish mysticism.
Okay, so our sources mention this Paleo-Hebrew alphabet, and it sounds kind of like finding a lost language.
It really is. Think about, like, archaeological digs, inscriptions carved into stone.
Wow.
One example is the Siloam inscription. It's from around 800 BCE, found in Jerusalem.
Okay.
And it uses that super old form of Hebrew writing.
So we're actually seeing how they wrote back then. That's incredible. But if this older Hebrew script was around, what happened to it? Why'd they change it?
Well, you got to think about empires rising and falling, cultures kind of like smashing together and mixing. Our sources talk about the Persian Empire and how it changed, well, pretty much everything, including languages.
Right, like how we use so many words from Latin from the Roman Empire, or how English borrows from French.
Exactly. During the Persian Empire, Aramaic, that was the language, like the English of that time.
Yep.
They used it for like official stuff, trade, everything.
I see.
And the square script, the Hebrew we know today, it came from that Aramaic script.
So it wasn't like a sudden switch, more of a slow change influenced by like the big, powerful language.
Wow.
It's really amazing how something we take for granted, the alphabet, can be shaped by, well, empires and history,
It really is. And you see this exchange, this cultural mix in the shapes of the letters. And get this, early Hebrew, similar to Aramaic, was written with only consonants, no vowels.
Hold on, no vowels. How did they understand anything? I mean, that sounds impossible.
It's definitely a challenge for us now, but think about it. They had a deep, like, inbuilt understanding of the roots of words.
You mean they just knew how to pronounce stuff based on the consonants?
Exactly. Context was everything.
But, I mean, wouldn't that cause problems sometimes?
Oh, you bet. Imagine trying to figure out a word just from the consonants. That's a recipe for misunderstandings.
So how do they fix that? Just start writing out all the vowels?
Well, they developed a system called Niqud, using dots and dashes above, below, or even inside the letters to show the vowels. It's like they added little guides for the reader.
So that's what those are. Always wondered. But here's my question. If they had that system, why is so much Hebrew still written without vowels today?
It's like anything, Languages evolve. As Hebrew changed, those vowel sounds just became second nature. Think about it, you don't really think about individual vowels in English, do you?
True. It's automatic. But still, learning Hebrew, trying to figure out those unwritten vowels, like a secret code, right?
You could say that. Definitely adds a level of difficulty, but it also speaks to how rich and layered the language is. It's more than just words. It's about like the connections between those consonants and the sounds they imply, the whole history of the language woven into its structure, And it's that depth, all those layers of history that takes us to this whole other side of the Hebrew alphabet, Jewish mysticism.
Now we're getting to the really good stuff. Each letter has like a secret meaning, right?
Kinda. In Kabbalah, that's what they often call Jewish mysticism, the Hebrew alphabet. Well, it's more than just writing, Each letter has this like unique spiritual energy.
Okay.
They represent different parts of creation or even ideas about how to live, like ethical concepts.
So each letter is like a clue to a giant cosmic puzzle.
I like that. And one of the big books that talks about this is the Sefer Yetzirah, which some people translate as the Book of Creation.
Okay.
It's like a really important book in Kabbalah, and it suggests that God actually used the Hebrew alphabet as the plan, the blueprint for creating everything.
Wait, so the letters weren't just representing creation, they were actually part of it.
That's the idea. Like each letter is this building block made of divine energy, and God used those to make the universe, if that makes sense.
Okay, I'm trying to picture this. So like the letter Aleph, the first one in Hebrew, what's its cosmic power in this system?
Good one. In Kabbalah, they often think of Aleph as like the beginning, that very first moment of creation, or even the idea of everything being connected, unity.
So Aleph is like the spark that started it all.
Yeah. And it's like that for all 22 letters. They're not just random symbols. They have these deep meanings about like reality and our place in it all,
Makes you look at the alphabet in a whole new way. It's
Yeah.
like that if you could understand these letters, really understand them, you could understand the universe.
And people who study Kabbalah, that's exactly what they try to do. They meditate on the letters, look at how they go together. They're searching for these hidden meanings within them, like a secret code. They think language, especially Hebrew, can help us understand God, the divine.
Wow, that's intense. But our sources mention something even more mysterious, something about a missing letter. What's up with that?
Ah, yeah, the legend of the missing letter. It's one of the biggest mysteries in Jewish mysticism.
Okay, you got to tell me more.
So picture this. There's this letter, and it's so powerful, so important that because it's missing from the alphabet, everything's a little off kilter.
Okay.
Some of these mystical writings say that this missing letter, it holds the key to incredible knowledge, maybe even the power to heal the world, like literally heal it.
A letter with that much power. Sounds like something straight out of a movie.
Yeah.
So what do people think happened to it? Did it ever even exist?
That's the million-dollar question. Some scholars say it's just a metaphor, a way to talk about something we can't really understand. But others, they think it might have been real, a real letter lost to history. Maybe it's out there somewhere, hidden, waiting for someone to find it.
No, that would be a story. But so far, it seems like these mystical interpretations, they're all about the meaning of the letters, their power. What about the way they look? Their actual shapes. Is there meaning in that too?
You're onto something. In some Jewish traditions, the way the letters actually look on the page, that's important too.
So it's not just what they mean, but how they look.
Exactly. Like the Talmud, that's a super important text in Rabbinic Judaism. It talks about the shape of the letters to explain certain ideas about God or how to live.
So they use the shapes as mini lessons, like little visual metaphors.
Exactly. A great example is the letter Bet. That's the first letter in the Hebrew Bible, right? Well, Bet is a closed letter. And they use that to say, look, don't even try to figure out what came before creation. That's a no-go zone. We can't understand it.
So the shape of Bet, all closed off, it's like a visual representation of what we can't know, the mystery of before creation.
Yeah.
That's amazing. They really put a lot of thought into every little thing about these letters.
They did. And there are so many other examples just like it. Each letter examine, analyze. They were looking for those hidden meanings everywhere. And that's what makes the Hebrew alphabet so fascinating.
It's really incredible when you think about it. We started with just these letters, the Hebrew alphabet, and we ended up in this whole world of like history, ancient empires, even mysticism, and these hidden meanings.
It shows you how much we just don't even realize about the writing we use all the time. It's just there. But the Hebrew alphabet, it reminds us that language can be way more than just words on a page,
Absolutely. It's this living story of a culture shaped by so many things.
Yeah.
This deep dive has totally changed how I see those 22 letters.
And honestly, we've just scratched the surface here. There's so much more to explore, like how they interpret the shapes of the letters, how those ideas have changed over time. And then there's that whole mystery of the missing letter,
Yeah, what a rabbit hole. Makes you wonder about, our own alphabet. Right? Does the letters we use have secret meanings too? Maybe we just lost touch with them somewhere along the way.
You never know. Every letter, every symbol we use to communicate, it's got a past, right? A history that made it what it is. It's kind of cool to think about approaching language with that sense of wonder. You might find those hidden connections, those unexpected stories in the way we talk to each other every day.
I like that. That's something to think about. I know I'll never look at the alphabet the same way again. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into, the secrets of the Hebrew alphabet. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking those big questions, and keep those brains working.